if it's going to reduce that, I know this is tough, but sometimes wrapping people in cotton just doesn't work.
Okay, fair enough. Yes?
Although I came to a...
Sorry, can you just say your name? So we can...
I'm Himan. Although I came towards the end, but I'll talk for a bit of it. From that, what I can see, there is a lot of similarity between the way the BME communities are targeted under the game matrix format, and also the way, to an extent, Muslim communities are targeted under the prevent agenda, like by watching certain kind of videos or by having some kind of association with certain people having no connection whatsoever. You get into the radar. Once you are in there, you are dragged deeper and deeper into it, and before you know it, you are a terrorist. So there are a lot of similarities between the ways that these are happening, and it is happening because, in my view, not necessarily the strategy is to blame, and a lot of the time it's the way that it is implemented and unchecked, unmonitored implementation of certain strategy and policy that the powers that we think, well, with my policy, it's up to the agencies to do it right. But agencies are not doing it right. And nobody is bringing up the account. There is no monitoring going on.
And I think that's where ordinary people, that's where we come in.
That's right.
You know, that's where we come in. Because if we think it's unjust, it's not right, or it is right, it needs to be, you know, does it need to be tougher? You know, we need to be the ones that are feeding that back. We need to be saying that. Any other comment? Yes?
You talk about very young people here starting from now. Obviously, going to much large, higher age groups. But the key challenge here is about when they're young, our schools are actually training those children. And one of the biggest things we need to focus on, particularly in areas like this, is we need to put those young men, young children, young women into good education and to give them the support. So the children should be at the heart of the education system so that they get equal opportunities when they grow up. You talked about job opportunities. They don't get that because they don't get a good education. So if a child is born in Moss Side or Ancoats or wherever the deprived areas are, should have the same chance of those children that are born in Hale Barnes. Yeah? The child, when they're born equal. It's the education system and all the other things that makes them unequal.
Good point.
I partially agree, but then I also think that there are cases of kids that are educated outside of their areas, but just because they're from that area, they are already associated with gang narratives. So even if their neighbour is in organised crime or their neighbour has done something criminal, they are, as a child, regardless of where they study, whether they go to grammar schools, whether they go outside the borough, whatever their education is, they're still involved in gang narrative. So it's not an issue, I don't think, about education exactly. I think it's about the way we label young people particularly.
I agree with you, but the key thing to me is that every child should have the same opportunity, and they don't. And they don't because of where they're born, what colour they are, which school they go to. But all you need to do is look at, if you look at Ale Barnes, the vast majority of those people have, their children will have a fancy house, fancy car, but if you're born in Moss Side, you're not.
Yeah, but I think, sorry to cut you there, I think, like the young lady said, so you have to remind me of your name. Asha. I think, like the young lady says, because there has been research done, and those of us who live in Moss Side, we know the labelling of an area itself is demoralising for young people. So I think the education system is there, might not be great, but it's there, because even in Moss Side, you've got two schools that are side by side. Some people do really, really well in one school, and the other school is almost failing, and these schools are like 50 yards from each other. So I think when you talk about education, it's how that education, somebody mentioned about how things are implemented. But when it comes to the labelling of an area, That is really important and something that we shouldn't do, because we've all heard when they used to label even the whole of Manchester was Gunchester, you know, and you know, wherever you went outside of London, I mean outside London, they don't know anything outside of London, but wherever you went outside of Manchester, that is the label that people were using. And this is like, for me, my city, where I live, where my children live, why is it being given that negative label? And for those of us in Manchester, we know it's not the whole of Manchester. You know, it's areas within, but you know, when once it gets that label, or when a particular neighbourhood gets a label, or even you can even bring it down to a particular estate gets a label, there'll be young people on there. It's not every young person, you know, that is involved in negativity. Not only that, in my view, any young person that is involved in negativity, it's an adult that's failed that young person. Because no young person is born bad. So, you know, we're all responsible, really, you know, for our young people, and for all of our young people. We're all responsible for them. But I don't want to talk too much. I could talk forever. Okay, well, what I'd like you to, you know, these things that are coming out on your tables for about 15 minutes, not long. Just have a bit of discussion on your tables, who you are, where you're from, and your perspective on this. Or do we want to go around the room and say who we are and where we're from?
You know what, I think that would be better,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people and instead of like having them all just talking separately, somebody might get missed out.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start with introducing ourselves then, so we know who we've got in the room.
Taslima.
Sorry, Taslima, I have to start. Ladies first.
My name is Taslima, and I've got a design centre, CDM UK Manchester, and we work with BME communities, and I work with the school children as well. And in my work, I find that the BME children are really, really let down. When they stick, year after year, when the children come to me and they stick their hands up and they tell me, Miss, when we're in class, because we're black, they always let the white children answer. I was shocked because this has never happened to me, and I was brought up in London, so different lifestyle. But it really shocked me when a year after year, I've been doing this program for 5 years, and last year I told my colleague, can you come and listen to this? And then he came and he asked the children one by one, and all the black children and the ethnic minority children said, we go out, but we never answer. So the school's failing them. So, you know, something needs to be done, and I think if the children feel lost at the beginning, what are they going to do? They're going to look at something that is a bit glamorous to them and go towards that way and say, oh, I'm going to teach, you know.
All right. Okay.
Thank you,
Can I have the
Taslima.
next person? Okay. Keep it short, sweet.
All right, my name is Lamin Dean. I'm here. I was brought up in Moss Side also. I then joined the army. I've been in the army for 20 years. In the early days of the military, I was the second black person ever in my regiment. So I've experienced a lot of what we're talking about here. But also, you know, in recent times, you know, I've done a lot of work in schools and in the communities, Moss Side, Withington, etc. And I'm just here to just to listen and to see what's actually going on, because I've worked with a lot of the people out, you know, in the areas I've just spoken about, and it's real. It's absolutely real. This is just sealing it, but you know, just the community working with the community and the youth, police, etc., you know, it's actually, you know, real, and I've experienced a lot of what we're talking about here.
Thank you.
My name's Paul Dewar. I'm actually an ex-gang member. Right? I'm 52 years old. I was born over here. Yeah, I've been through education where I was miseducated. Everything I'm self-taught. In prison, I've been in every education department in prisons. I've been to conferences and all kinds of things. Yeah? All I can say as an ex-offender, I've served more than a life sentence in prison. Yeah, right. I've been in Strangeways riots. I'm currently writing my autobiography called No State of Mind. I've been on television whilst I was in prison. Outside of prison, on a documentary called City Streets, you might remember about 8 years ago, by Matt Donoghue done the interview after the shooting of a young Liverpool lad. There's a whole week-long documentary about gangs and this, that, whatever. Now, I've always said, right, I've done things personally, right, not being involved in any organisation whatsoever. Yeah, I've taken guns off kids, yeah, literally, yeah, put my life at risk in this, that, whatever, yeah. I'm well known in Manchester. Now, one of the things that I'm here for is because I got the message, yeah, I've cancelled an important appointment to me to be here to hear what's going on, right? Me personally, I'm sick to death of all this, yeah? We all know what's wrong, yeah, right? And all I want to hear, like Ribbon said, is solutions, yeah? We all know what's wrong, yeah? Even kids know what's wrong. Now, at the end of the day, I'm sick of all these seminars, conferences, people that are in positions of employment, yeah, to do and help people, but they're not doing it. Where my guys are keeping it short, Paul Dewar, yeah, No State of Mind, yeah. At the end of the day, we're all here because we actually care. Yeah. Well, that's what I believe. We're all here because we care, yeah. Now, just to cut this short, I want to be involved with an organisation that does what it professes to do, yeah. Right? I'm not prepared to waste the rest of my life on this, where nothing gets done, or where all everybody does is talk. Yeah? Sorry.
Jason Green, I'm a Detective Sergeant from Great Manchester Police. I am based in Moss Side. I've not come here today to talk about sort of corporate policy and whatnot. What you hear will be mostly my views about what I think, what I actually see out there, and how we kind of react and so on. What I will say before moving on, very briefly, is for me, my stance is everybody has to take personal responsibility in life, and that's all of us, that's parenting, schools, everyone. It's not fair to just blame one particular thing. The individual has to take responsibility first, and somebody has to change. You start changing everything by changing yourself first, and that's sort of one of my beliefs, if you like. So yeah, I'll answer as many questions as you can in relation to the police.
So he's over here.
Yeah. Try to be easy on me.
That's why I asked him to come.
Because it's a deep-rooted problem. I've said to these guys here, society as a whole is completely messed up. We value the wrong things, we value material things and so on, and we've lost sight completely of what we should be doing. So no, we're not going to solve anything
no,
today.
I'm glad he's here. I'm actually glad he's here. I'm glad you're here.
But yeah, we've got to have these discussions, and for me, you should be working pretty closely with the police, if you're not already, as an advisor for what you see, and maybe look at our policies and how we approach things. So yeah, that's me.
Okay. Thanks, Jason. And listen, people, you don't have to do a long speech. You can just give your name and where you're from. So that some people are probably sitting there thinking, "Oh God, what am I going to say when it gets to me?" You can just say your name if you like. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Kerry Pegg. I'm the Safer Custody and Equalities Governor at HMP Kirkham. And the bit that I would say is I'm looking at working with families, because our stats suggest that 65% of the children, where they've got a father in prison, go on to offend themselves. So really I think some of the work should start with the fathers and reach out then to the children in the community.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Richard McHugh, and work at NMU, just down the road. And my research interests are gangs, organised crime, stuff like that. Particularly how people educated into those types of groups. And also the role the pro-social roles that groups known as gangs can have in communities as well.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Chantal Tyndall. I represent Trumpet Media Group. I'm here to make a report on today's findings. and I would hope it's positive in the end. I've never heard of this before in this light, so it's an eye-opener for me. And I'd love to hear more, so I can, write something positive and get everybody. Thank you.
My name is Koshan from a charity called We Stand Together.
Okay, thank you.
My name is James Gregory. I'm from Fathers Against Violence and our Families Against Violence. We provide youth activities for our youth in South Manchester.
Thank you.
My name is Afshan. I'm from Northern Police Marching Project, not associated with the police, but we do workshops for young people on knowing their rights for stop and search surveillance to get involved by the end.
Okay, thank you. Back table, please. Yes.
From Network Manchester, we stand together and sustainable food actions.
Thank you.
I'm Roger Scott, I'm the Dean of Events on the Cathedral in the City.
Thank you.
I'm Lenny Robinson, I'm representing the UEW, and I also work in high schools identifying gang problems and dealing with them.
Thank you.
I'm Greg Davis, also representing the United States. I run a gym in the middle of Widdenshaw.
I'm Phil Slaney. I'm also from Widdenshaw with these two lads I'm representing UEW as well.
Okay.
I'm Mark Taylor, I'm from also from Widdenshaw. I'm representing Jimmy Egan's Boxing Club.
Thank
I
you.
mean, the work we do with the youth, obviously, in this area.
Thank you. Before we come to the young ladies, that we don't miss out the gentleman at the back.
Apologies first. My name is Michael Hood. I've worked many years in the community, working with ex-offenders, working with young people in schools, working on mentoring projects. I'm currently not doing that at the moment because obviously funding gets tighter as it gets harder to actually support young people. I think a lot of the things that are happening now with this knife crime is because in 2010 the City Council refused to work with black boys. It's quite clearly they want to work with white boys. But I'm saying you can't work with one individual, not the other individuals. They're all boys and they all need our support. You can't put funding for one and give it all to the other side. So I'm here to make sure that funding goes forward for everybody, not for just one minority group.
Thank you.
My name is Sharon, also known as Pinky.